Okay, let's go over this one more time. So the editing software landlords evicted me from my rundown Clipchamp apartment, so now I'm doing my first video in DaVinci Resolve. I should probably be a little more careful now since my channel is monetized now. Okay, let's see, what's on the checklist again? Did that one. I still need to do that one. Well, I mean, I usually do essays on video games, but I guess this'll do for now. Pizza! I love pizza. It's been a worldwide favorite meal since its inception in the year 997 AD. Pizzas go in many different shapes and sizes, from extra large New Yorkers to Detroit-style pizzas. A lot of people prefer their pizzas with different toppings like Italian sausage, mushrooms, peppers, olives, and pineapples. And yes, I like pineapples on my pizza. Sue me! Hello? What do you mean this isn't the right topic? The list said make a video on pizza. What do you mean my thumb is covering the Oh! Pizza Tower. That makes more sense. Wait, stop the intro, stop the intro! I think we can do with a much better one. Here, take a look at this one. What do you guys think of my new intro? Pretty cool if I say so myself. Whatever. Okay, Pizza Tower. Before I talk about the game itself, I should probably explain why I was super hesitant to touch it in the first place. I'm not gonna lie, I've been avoiding this game like the plague for the longest time. I mean, an indie game inspired by the Wario Land series with buttersmooth sprite animation, a banging soundtrack, and a cast full of goofy goobers seems like the kind of thing to make me really excited, but me being a broke and unemployed girl on January 26, 2023 didn't help all that much. I couldn't afford the game for the longest time, which wouldn't be a problem for me normally, but there was just one small issue. It's an indie game, and as many of you know, some indie projects tend to gain a lot of traction. This can lead to a large fan base and talented artists throwing their creativity into the ring, but this can also lead to YouTube Kids slop. Eventually, the internet and I associated the game with all the other 2023 memes I won't mention because, well, it would horribly date the video. Yeah, so all that bullshit was thrown out of the window as soon as I clicked play on Steam. I fucking love this game. I think it just goes to show that you shouldn't let the internet ruin anything for you, especially not a masterpiece like Pizza Tower. Okay, time to elaborate on it all, but first I'm in the mood for some pizza. Yeah, hi. Can I get a large stuffed crust pizza with pepperoni, mushrooms, olives, peppers, onions? Now, I don't really have that much cash on me right now, but would you be okay with me just tipping you $100 bill? Hello? He hung up. Whatever, I'm sure he's on his way right now. After all, it's free if I don't get it in like 10 minutes. Well, I might as well talk about the game while I wait. Pizza Tower is an indie side-scroller developed by Jeffrey McPig Langtot, and it started development on Game Maker Studio 2 in March of 2018. Possibly under the name Pizza Massacre, it was going to be a 2D horror RPG about a crazed pizza chef fighting monsters in his own restaurant. Slowly but surely, this idea was molded into the game we know today. It's been in development for a year before having a Patreon open where patrons could play early builds. What made people aware of the game was the demo at the 2019 Sonic Amateur Games Expo, or SAGE for short. What captivated people was its zany art style inspired by 90s cartoons like Ren and Stimpy and early SpongeBob, just to name a few, and its addictive, flowy gameplay inspired by the Wario Land games, most notably Wario Land 4, so I'm told. Another thing that got people interested was its soundtrack arranged by Mr. Sauceman, which was very 16-bit inspired and used sound fonts from games such as Sega Genesis games, Super Mario World and Sunshine, and Sonic CD. Those are the ones that I could recognize at least. Another thing that got people interested— okay, it was everything. Now that we got the development out of the way, here's Pizza Tower. The game follows Peppino Spaghetti, the extremely stressed owner of his own pizza restaurant. What sets him on his adventure is the diabolical pizza face threatening to blow up his restaurant with a laser cannon atop the titular, well, Pizza Tower. Why is Pizza Face doing this? I don't know, he's just an asshole. Occasionally joining Peppino on his quest to save his restaurant is Gustavo and this fuck-ass rat, the mascot of a PS1 game and a character from the adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Occasionally you take control of Gustavo and Mort and use their different movesets for levels built with them in mind, while Mr. Stick unlocks a boss gate after you've earned enough money by playing each floor's levels. And speaking of levels, it's finally time to talk about the gameplay. In the game's obligatory tutorial level, we don't just learn Peppino's moveset, but we learn how fluid and versatile he is. If Sonic is built like a pinball, Peppino is built like a greasy old meatball. I promise that's a good thing. Peppino has a lot of movement options to get through stages. He can boost, he can deal with enemies like a pro wrestler, he has a Super Metroid Shine Spark, and he has at least 3 different ways of moving while crouching. I can't really talk about its Wario Land influences since I haven't played Wario Land yet. Don't come at me! But Pizza Tower kinda reminds me of classic Sonic games, whereas mastering the controls and going as fast as you can is something the game rewards you for. The more enemies you defeat, the higher a combo counter is filled up, adding to your overall score. Each stage ends off with you receiving a ranking based off of your score, but simply defeating enemies and grabbing pizza toppings isn't the only thing you need to do to get a high rank. You see, once you make it to the end of the level, there's a giant pillar that triggers pizza time upon being destroyed. In this anxiety-inducing part of the game, certain pillar blocks switch positions and you need to take an alternate route while racing against the clock to go back to the beginning of the stage. You can collect clocks that just barely delay the timer, but that's all. If you're feeling dangerous, you can find a secret pizza that triggers a lap too. Failing to reach the beginning before time runs out results in Pizza Face spawning in to kill you. Asshole. Pizza time is easily the most fun part of the game, which was a tough thing to call since this whole game was a blast to get through. The inclusion of the timed backtracking is already a great thing on its own, but the music tracks by Mr. Sauceman, It's Pizza Time, and The Death That I Deserve Ioli are just the cherry on top of this section of the game. They have to be the most iconic tracks in the game. Man, I'm starting to get hungry. Where's that pizza? Whatever, let's just move on. The Pizza Tower itself is a pretty creative hub world. The foreboding music and varying themes reminds me of Gruntilda's Lair from Banjo-Kazooie. I like just running around the tower just to uncover secret rooms and see what everyone was up to. Yep, it's littered with NPCs, overall adding more personality and charm. I enjoyed seeing Gustavo and the fuck-ass rat try to act cool on the final floor, but hold on to each other when Peppino turns his back. I also enjoyed seeing the bosses taunt you after you defeat them. Oh yeah, the bosses. The levels themselves are already a fun experience on their own, but they decided to make the bosses the best thing ever too. There's 4 main bosses you'll come by. Pepperman, a giant bell pepper who's fought in an art gallery. The Vigilante, who's a blob of cheese and cowboy cosplay. The Noise, who's just a parody of the Noid. And Fake Peppino, who is super unsettling to look at. Well, anyway, the bosses are super unique and no attack is ever the same as the others. The first example of this is the Pepperman boss fight. His first attack is attempting to shoulder bash Peppino to the wall. After you take your opportunity to damage him, he shoulder bashes again, but he skids to a halt before he can slam against the wall and runs into the opposite direction. Things like these make the bosses feel like worthy opponents to go up against, with each of their dangerously goofy personalities. Also, I pretty much never used it, but the parry system is fun too. Pressing the top button makes Peppino strike a silly pose. It may seem a little useless at first, but perfectly timing it will parry attacks from enemies, and it's especially cool to pull off in boss fights. But let's take a step back to talk about the level themes. The canonical explanation for each level within the tower is that the levels are small pocket dimensions, with the destruction of each pillar John resulting in each dimension crumbling. This explanation allows them to get creative with each level theme. I mean, I guess some of these can just be normal rooms in the tower, but I doubt Pizza Face managed to find ways to fit whole ass deserts and beaches inside the tower. Just like everything else in the game, the levels are fantastic too. Each one has its own distinct theme and gimmicks to complement it. I'm normally either indifferent or I outright don't like gimmicks in video games, but Pizza Tower's gimmicks just go so well with everything else. For example, Peppino can wear armor to slide across the floor to get rid of these rodent roadblocks. In one of the desert levels, Danny Trejo feeds him spicy wings, letting us detonate TNT across the way and air dash with our fire breath. Hell, one of the levels is just dedicated to playing golf. Pizza Tower managed to make golf fun! This game is also full of fun parodies. I noticed references to Mario, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Man, those guys are annoying. Well, I think that's everything I can say about the game before talking about the final boss and ending. So if you haven't played the game yet, I recommend you either stop watching now or skip to this timestamp. I'm gonna be talking about spoilers and I want everyone to experience this game firsthand. So you have 5 seconds. After earning enough money to make it to the roof, you fight Pizza Face. His first phase is relatively simple and easy, grabbing the enemies he throws at you and launching them at him, a la Super Mario World's Bowser fight. But after you beat the first phase, Pizza Face is revealed to be a robot of sorts piloted by Pizza Head. He kinda looks like Ronald McDonald. The second phase is where things get a little more crazy. Pizza Head throws random shit at you all the while a Steamboat Willie ass beat is playing in the background. The third phase is a mini boss rush of sorts. Pizza Head summons Pepperman, Vigilante, The Noise, and Fake Peppino for the final showdown. Each of them cycle through their main attacks, but it goes much quicker this time since Peppino is pissed way too much to hit them normally. Eventually Gustavo joins as a projectile you can use to slow down the bosses, minus Pepperman. After defeating Pizza Head, the tower starts to crumble as you go through one last pizza time sequence. You only have about 5 minutes to make it out, all the while the main characters and the bosses follow you out of the crumbling building. After making it out alive, the day is saved as Pizza Head's scheme is laid in ruin. All the characters are free to go do whatever the hell they were doing before this all started, I guess, and Peppino can go back to his life of crippling debt and making minimum wage at his dead-end job as a pizza restaurant owner. So, in other words, a happy ending. So, that was Pizza Tower. If you're looking for a game with butter smooth controls, a banger soundtrack, and eye-popping style with animation as smooth as the controls, funny characters, replayability, great level variety, and a fun gameplay loop, I can't recommend Pizza Tower enough. I played a lot of games this year, but this one might as well just be my game of the year. Tour de Pizza poured their heart and soul into this game, and the final project is brimming with all the passion involved. So if you like good video games, go play Pizza Tower. Hey, my pizza still hasn't arrived. What the fuck is up with that? Well, it took you long enough. Hey, are you okay? You look like you've just seen a ghost. Close enough. Don't worry, I got this. So, do you have my pizza? Awesome. Where's the drink? You did bring the drink, right? How am I supposed to enjoy this without my drink? Hey, come back here. This isn't a drink. This is just a Steam code for Batman Arkham Asylum.